All right, so this is the U19. This is the First Nations Cup battle. Once again, it's a battle of British Columbia in the blue, taking on Team Ontario in the red and white. My name is Dan Hobson. Delighted to have the call here. This one of the gold medal game. And I hope that everybody back home in British Columbia and Ontario are enjoying this final. Ontario's U17, a little bit of a heartbreaker for them, up by 4. And British Columbia managed to climb back with a 9-8 victory in the gold medal game. So BC looking here for the sweep here in the field Lacrosse Nationals. Ontario tried to get it a split. Officials at center here to start it off. And we are underway, and British Columbia with the first possession cleanly off the draw. And with a nice little move was Hamioka, who we saw at the Box Lacrosse Nationals just a couple of weeks ago here in Bedford and Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. British Columbia have it in behind the goal. That's Vanichuk. And they'll swing to the outside. Sheldrick with a nice move. Sheldrick shot! And the save made. Scooped up there by Quinn Gordon, who's the starting goaltender here for Team Ontario, and he'll be wearing number 1. So first test, he stops it. And Caleb Kahn is the goaltender here for British Columbia, so a little bit of pressure there by Matty Dean there on the Team Ontario goaltenders. They swing it to the outside. This is Fess. Fess with an opening. Fess with a little bit of a breathing room. Fess, good run for him as he puts on the brakes. And they'll swing it to the outside. This is Lickers. Lickers as Ontario makes changes. Just a minute and a half gone here in the first quarter. 4 15-minute quarters. That's Bumberry there, number 25. And a save there by Kahn there. The Ontario player was allowed to walk out front. Beautiful sunny Monday, holiday Monday here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Ontario with possession once again. Ryland Bumberry. They swung to the outside. There's a shot and a save there by Kahn as he goes down. Rebound up for grabs. Scoots towards the back and scooped up there by Lickers. McKinnon. Once again, a little bit of room here by Lickers. A return pass coming here. Bumberry. McKinnon. Bumberry. Moutsias. Ontario with a little bit of sustained pressure, but not a shot yet. Back outside. Bumberry. Gets the return pass right in the middle. Directed traffic. In his kitchen watching him is Cole Sampson, the midfielder from British Columbia. And behind the goal. Was thinking about trying to come out front, and they thought better of it. Bumberry in behind a goal, trying to wrap around. And does score! Right in, Bumberry. Saw the lane open up, and then put it by Caleb Kahn. And Ontario strikes first, 1-0. Off the face-off, a little bit of a scrabble draw. Sarnota hits the dirt here for Team Ontario, trying to come up with it. Gathers it up quickly. Ontario once again with some pressure. Driscoll outside. Christian McKinnon. And he's going to reset. In the meantime, Ontario changed the troops. Lickers. McKinnon. Ontario has completed the change. Bit of a screen set up. Christian McKinnon with some open real estate. McKinnon! Not sure if it got towards the net of Con, but it stays out most importantly as we're coming up to the 5-minute mark of a 1-0 lead here for Team Ontario in the Four Nations Cup final at the Field Lacrosse Nationals in Dartmouth. Ontario trying to quickly make changes as well as British Columbia, and up comes British Columbia. Cole Sampson. Quick pass. Dade shot right on Quinn Gordon. And Quinn Gordon sees a little bit open real estate and quickly up field. A one and done, and back comes Ontario with some pressure down low. Lickers. Once again, both teams making changes. That pass a little bit too high, but Bunbury gets a piece to knock it down and gathers it up here for Team Ontario. McKay calling for a little bit of traffic. McKay sends it down low, in behind the goal. Ontario coming out front. Another shot there. It's the ball's up for grabs. Foul called against Team Ontario, so that will snuff out that drive for the meantime for Ontario. Caleb Kahn. Brandon Kirby Lyons. Name on the roster, so we don't know whether he wants to go by Brandon or Kirby, but either way we'll get both. Brandon Kirby Lyons. Farstead. Oh, a shot and a goal down low. Max Guller ties it up at one. Tic-tac goal. 1-1. Near the 6.5-minute mark. Very important here for both teams to not get too far behind, but our U17 gold medal game saw British Columbia go down as much as 4, but came back to win it. So 7 minutes in, and we're back to even where we started. 1-1, even Steven on this Labor Day Monday from Dartmouth. The Four Nations Cup, nearing the halfway point. He just got the goal. He was going to think about a shot, but he sends it down low in the meantime. Dane. Guller. He'll get the return pass. Back down, Matty Dane in behind the goal. Vanachuk. Shots wide and high. We'll stay with British Columbia. 7:10 left. Austin Vanachuk, the attack midfielder here for British Columbia with possession. A little bit of a high pass for Matty Dane. Difficulty, but gets away from the Ontario defender. Oh, front of the shot, scores! Back to back! Max Guller. Ontario gets the first, and BC gets the last two. Back-to-backs for Max Guller, 2-1. 6:33 left in the first quarter. Two highly quick striking offense, so you know that we could be having like 11-10 or 12-11 maybe even 15-14 or maybe even 2019 is the way these teams go offensively. So you like offense, this should be a game just fit for you as Driscoll pass here for Ontario. Christian McKinnon. Driscoll. Bomberry. Around the horn they go with 5:38 left. Driscoll. Bennett Driscoll. Right in Bomberry. Bomberry. He's being watched there by Cameron Downey, the midfielder, number 14 in the blue and white for British Columbia. Bennett Driscoll. Driscoll. Turns on the Jets. Whistle gets his first touch of the game, I believe, for Ontario. Back out. McKinnon. Nothing going for Whistle this time. In behind. A little bit of a pick set there in behind the net for Ontario. And Whistle has it again. 4:46 left. Bunbury tried to direct traffic here on this. Now has it. Bunbury walking out front. British Columbia player goes down. I think they got their feet tangled, so nothing there. Play goes on. Whistle. Whistle. Can't get a shot. And a slashing call. And our first penalty of the, we'll say, afternoon now. Might be just me, but does Kai Sanderson, the defender there, number 43, have a very long stick there for British Columbia coming in? So Ontario, see if they can score. Oh! And the Chess get a piece and the post, but it stays out. So it stays 2-1 for now. 3.5 left. Back out. Swing over. Whistle. Whistle try to get it. Ball on the turf. Loose ball up for grabs. He's got two and he gathers it up. Goaler. And quickly passes back. Cole Sampson. Max Goaler. Goaler. Outside pass on the run caught by Vanacek. Austin Vanacek. Defended there by Scherzing. Trent Scherzing. Ontario trying to make a little bit of a change as Van Noort will check in. Berard, the defender, also going off. And a first pass here for Farstad. Bishop. Farstad again. Trombley scores! Oh boy, did he show that he's got some quick steps as Twomley. A little bit of open real estate and took off 1-2 off to the races and then fired it past Quinn Gordon to make it 3-1. Lincoln Twomley, the attack midfielder for British Columbia. 3-1. Caleb Hamioka. As I said, we saw a lot of that name at the Boxed Nationals. We're at Zatzman Sportsplex as well as Greenfoot and Spryfield. Pretty well a lot of the arenas in the Halifax Regional Municipality a couple of weeks back. Sheldrick. Larson. Sheldrick. Turn on the Jets. Twomley, he's got some dangerous moves and fires a shot. They're going to have to get a body there at number 6 in blue, Lincoln Twomley. Under a minute to go here, first quarter. 3 straight for British Columbia after Ontario broke the eggs in this one. 3-1, 46 seconds left. Quinn Gordon. Allowed to hold it for eternity. Going to take a couple of back steps, a little bit of pressure, but they get the pass off to McKay. Now they'll pass on the run, gathered up there by Whistle. Whistle turn it on the Jets. Whistle. Its timeout is called. It was the horn from the other field, my apologies, so I thought there might have been a timeout, but no, just a foul against Ontario. Shot scores! Whoa, baby! Austin Vanachuk. 4-1. So 4 straight for British Columbia. Ontario would love to get a quick strike here to bring it down to 4-2 before the end of this quarter. It may not happen. 6 seconds left as along that far sideline. So they got a lot of real estate to go as it comes up near center. 2 seconds, 1 second. As the horn goes to end the first quarter. Ontario with a quick strike to make it 1-0, and then 4 for British Columbia, including 2 by Max Guller, and then Lincoln Twomley as well. 4-1 after the opening 15. So we'll be back in just a couple seconds with quarter number 2 here from the First Nations Cup final on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
I think it's a beautiful day out, ready to go and play some lacrosse.
I think if we just outwork them, I think there's no reason we don't beat them.
This is Canadian Lacrosse Men's Field Nationals on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
Never miss a play.
We're just about set for quarter number 2 here at the First Nations Cup final. The Field Lacrosse Nationals coming to you from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Maritime Athletic Profiles. Dan Hobson, delighted to have the gold medal call here in this one. If you're just joining us, Team Ontario got off to a good start with a goal, waited 1-0, and then British Columbia with 4 quick strikes, including 2 off the stick of Max Guller. They make it a 4-1 lead. That's where we stand here after the opening 15. So we play 4 15-minute quarters. And if this U17 that we had just a few moments ago is any indication how this one goes, it could be a tight contest, even though one team has a good 3-goal lead. But I've always said that the 4-goal lead in lacrosse is hard to defend, and so if you keep it under 4, anything's possible in this one. So as we are set to get underway with quarter number 2. Glad you're with us here watching in Ontario, British Columbia, or wherever you're watching in the World Wide Web. We're glad you could join us. Pills on a good run, but play blown down. And has a timeout just early in this game, 13 seconds into this quarter. And pretty much both these teams are pretty familiar to each other. There's times that when you play for Team Ontario, you also play in your sort of league, so they know each other. So there's going to be no real surprises. And talking to both the organizations, both from Team Ontario and Team British Columbia before the start of this one, there's going to be no big surprises. So they know each other, they've scouted each other, so. And one of the things that's been was very impressive about Team Ontario is that their quick transition offense, and you saw a little bit earlier there in their previous couple of possessions, they have not afraid to pass the ball around and keep it to the outside and try to, basically do what the plan is. That sometimes you may have a good open shot, but you're trying to get the perfect shot, and the perfect shot will go in. So we'll see that if they keep that passing up as plays back underway, as Boyden will start this possession alongside with Whistle and Bunbury. Luke Boyden has it again. Caden Lickers. Lickers thought about come out front, but that lane is closed. Lickers. Oh, he threads the eye of the needle to Whistle on a really hard pass. Bomberry. Bomberry. Lickers. Bomberry again. Oh, a little bit of a high stick there to get up into. That came from Cameron Downey. My apologies there. British Columbia centering pass out front. Ball on the turf. A couple of whacks there by Luke Banks from British Columbia. Ontario pressing again here with McKay. McKay. Sampson holds the line. To the outside. Lickers. Lickers direction traffic. Another sort of submarine pass right there caught by McKay. McKay. Down low. Couple good run here. Brought down as he goes through the trolley tracks, and the flags go in the air easily on that one. Boyden definitely went into the trolley tracks, and the boom was lowered as the officials get together. All kinds of laundry on the ground here in Dartmouth. Looks to be Asher Kiken. That's going to go to the bin there for British Columbia. So British Columbia will be a man down. Whistle. Sharp angle, nothing there. Quick pass it here by Ontario. BC scrambling on the run. Can't get the shot and going down. There was Boyden as more laundry hits the turf here. The all-weather surface in Dartmouth. This Cameron Downey going to the box? Yes, it is. So it's going to be even more penalty trouble. Down two, so good chance here. But British Columbia, man down, had it. Ball up for grabs. A couple of whacks there by Kahn on the Ontario player to prevent the shot. To the outside. Coming up to 3 minutes gone, quarter number 2. Ontario with a little bit of pressure, but they're going to be called for the foul. This is just what the doctor ordered for British Columbia, but it's down on the turf and it's scooped up. Shot! Oh, getting a piece. Caleb Kahn. Christian McKinnon had real estate and daylight, but the shot scores there by Ryan Bomberry. And he might have had a little bit to say afterwards to Team British Columbia as he got up, but he's brought the margin down to 2, 4-2. Coming up to 4 minutes gone, second quarter. 4-2. Ontario struck at this point in the first quarter. So British Columbia looking to strike Twombly, who's had a fairly good couple of chances and scored on one of his two. Loose ball up, couple of hacks there. You can hear the sticks being banged together in front of the goal. Quinn Gordon, big outlet pass that's caught there by McKinnon. Lickers looking for a little bit of help. In behind the goal. Brings it out. It's McKay. Wind starting to pick up here in Dartmouth. Boyden. Boyden watched by Luke Banks, a defender there from British Columbia. Swing to the outside, Christian McKinnon. We had a gorgeous opportunity in this game so far. Lickers looking to try to come out front. Boyden getting a little separation. Nothing there, so he'll go in behind the goal, but he'll direct traffic in the meantime. Boyden trying to come, sets it up. Shot, that's blocked. Drew up very well by Team Ontario, defended very well by British Columbia as they got another flag down. Brandon Kirby Lyons to the box. Once again, talking to Team British Columbia a little bit earlier here before today's games, 17 and 19, is like the key was to try to stay out of the box. It's cost him one goal. Will it cost him another? 8:26 left. And it's just swatted right into the middle there, where it will be picked up here by Lickers. Christian McKinnon. There's a shot, scores! Luke Boyden tickles the twine, 4-3. So penalty trouble has cost British Columbia. They were up by 3. That has gone by the wayside. Down. They are now trailing by one. They are leading by 1, 4-3. Trying to bounce it up to a stick. There was McKinnon. Lions. A little bit of real estate. Lions. Oh, difficulty there. Matty Dean was about ready to shoot, but then lost the handle on it. You've heard of the term lost the handle. Boy, it relatively speaks to this sport. Sheldrake. Vanachuk, who's got a goal in this one. Twombly with 1, 2 by Guller and Vanachuk. Boyden and Bunbury. 2 of the 3 markers for Team Ontario. 6.5 left here till halftime. They swing it down low. Nothing there. Guller's already got 2, but he's not able to get the shot. He's well defended by Team Ontario. Bouncer that goes over the net. Six to go till half. British Columbia, once again, they're on the march here. They have a little bit of sustained pressure. Guller. Logan Doxter, and that's closing the post there was Quinn Gordon on that one as he had his shoulder up against the post and didn't allow the short side on that. Vanachuk. Bishop, Danny Bishop, the midfielder for BC. Max Guller. Can Max Guller come around? Oh, tried to get the setup. The shot scores! Guller to Matty Dane. 5-3. But flagged down too. Penalty after the goal, of course. Schertzing going to go to the sin bin for less. And another quick strike there. No. The timeout here for British Columbia. 4 minutes and 7 seconds, 6-3. We've had some ups and downs in this one. Ontario started off with the lead, British Columbia now. We have a 3-goal lead here just before halftime. And the First Nations Cup final. The Alumni Cup went to British Columbia if you're just joining us. It didn't look good there for the team from the West Coast. They trailed as much as 4-0, and it just seemed like once Ontario had like a 5-goal lead, British Columbia would make it 4, and it seemed like they were trading goals. And then eventually British Columbia went pretty much 3 straight. And then actually British Columbia went ahead, and Ontario had to come from behind and tied it at 8-8. Went to extras. And then Finley Cooper allowed the walk-in behind the goal, from behind the goal, and put it past for British Columbia to win the Alumni Cup. So we'll see if this timeout has maybe cooled the jets here of British Columbia. This game is a little bit more quiet than the U17 game, so as we say, 4 to go. Play back underway. Sheldrake. And British Columbia wants to change the troops. Guller gets the return, a shot by Guller, and a big stop there by Quinn Gordon. Guller looking for his third of the game, not to come. Have 3 before the first half. Oh, thread the eye of the needle to Boyden. Boyden on the run. Not the easiest of passes for him to handle. Van Ort will go to the bench for a change here. In the meantime, that gets his feet tangled with the British Columbia player who is also going to the bench at the time. So, 3 to go. Lakers. Boyden. Whistle. Okay. McKinnon and Lickers. Thought about going low. Wickers. Ran out of real estate. A shot is high and wide. Pressure down low, but unable to bury it. Still Ontario ball. 2.5 left till half. McKay again. Boyden. Gets the return pass. Boyden. 2:19. He goes on the run. Boyden. The howitzer, but well high of the mark. McKay. Sampson watching him for British Columbia in the blue. Coming up to 100 seconds left till halftime. A little chance to get a little bit of breather here. Ontario would like to bring it down to at least a 2-goal margin here before the end of the first half. Lickers. Quick pass there. Once again, Bunbury. McKinnon. Bunbury, no shooting lane there for him. He'll backtrack. Directs some traffic. Near a minute left. And Bunbury gets it again. McKinnon. They'll go low. In behind the goal. Boyden. Good defense there for British Columbia. That was Luke Banks that knocked it out of the stick momentarily, but it's gathered up by Ontario. As Ontario will take a timeout here. 40.6 ticks left till half. Trying to get, as I said, bring it down to 2 goals. 6-4 is what they're hoping to do. It's 6-3 now. It just, as I said, 40.6 ticks left till the half in the second quarter. And you know that definitely British Columbia is going to figure, well, what, trying to set up a defensive play so that they can't get a good shot. And, of course, Ontario trying to draw a play up, is the things. But you also know that when you're in this situation, well, what do we do if we see this? Or what do we do if we see that? That's the margin of the conversations that are being held here on the bench. And I think that's one of the things that's heartening here for Team Ontario is they have gotten BC into some penalty trouble, but then BC has got some quick strikes. In a matter of just 2 minutes, they have made it sort of like basically been that story of this first half. Quick strikes by British Columbia have has made it 6-3 in a blink of an eye. So there has been some swings and momentum in this one as plays back underway. 37 seconds left. Also probably a good chance here for Team Ontario to get who they want out here for. The shot scores! Whatever they did, it worked well. Christian McKinnon. 6-4. Well, that one also feels good in the coaching box, doesn't it? It's like, well, that's just how we drew it up, and it worked out perfect. 29.8 seconds left till half. Scrambled on the draw. Hamioka with the pickup. This play is blown down, 25.3. And field lacrosse is almost like basketball. It takes you 30 minutes to play the last 2 minutes. Well, you can take the headset too if you want.
No, you're doing a great job. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, we thank you. We thank all the compliments online. Thank all the fans here that are enjoying it. I'm in the seating section here, so I'm not in any press box. So every once in a while, if I say something that somebody doesn't like, you may hear the mic being dropped as they're going to grab me by the ankles and turn me upside down and things like that. So it's a sunny day in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. As I said, this field relatively new within the last, let's say definitely a little less than 10 years. As this used to be all rock and trees. It's all part of like this new reformed Dartmouth crossing for those that are in Ontario and British Columbia wondering where we are located. There is the RBC Center that is right behind us, a new ice facility that opened up a few years ago. It is the spring, I guess you could say, preseason home of the Halifax Mooses of the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League. So if you find that it's too hot to be out in the field, go inside and cool off in the ice facility. 20 seconds left as play is underway. British Columbia trying to get the one last shot here before the half. Up by 2. Trying to get it to go up by 3. Sheldrake. Not the easiest of passes there for Guller. He's got a couple of shots. Scores! Austin Vanachuk. With 3.6 ticks left till half. 7-4. I'm telling you, if you're a flag runner in lacrosse, you must be sort of probably have a lot of miles in this sport, because just saw the British Columbia lady with the flag run down the sidelines. I seen one of the games, there was, I think British Columbia got 20, so that'd be 20 trips going down the field. That means you probably would have to go to see the athletic therapist to try to get some ice and some, post-game treatment for that. Horn goes to end, and British Columbia up by 3, 7-4 after the opening 2 quarters of play. We're at halftime here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. This is the First Nations Cup, and you're watching it here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
think it's a beautiful day out, ready to go and play some lacrosse.
I think if we just outwork them, I think there's no reason we don't beat them.
This is Canadian Lacrosse Men's Field Nationals on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
Never miss a play.
All right, we're just about set here for the second half, third quarter. Seconds from getting underway here at the First Nations Cup U19 Field Lacrosse Nationals on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Dan Hobson along for the call. So Ontario got off to a quick lead, but that has gone by the wayside. It was 4-1, now 7-4. So, but the thing is, it was Team Ontario that was leading in the U17 by a 4-goal margin, and British Columbia came from behind. So you know that for Team Ontario, they're thinking, well, it happened to them, it can happen to us. So that 3 or 4 goal lead in lacrosse is probably about as safe as a bungee cord that's got holes in it when you want to do bungee jumping. Not very safe at all. So here we are, third quarter underway. And play blown down just like that. And quickly goes Luke Banks for British Columbia. Looking here to try to, double their lead to 4. That would be the largest lead so far in this one. Graham Farshid, the attack midfielder for British Columbia, with possession as it goes in behind the goal. Quick pass is Twombly, who's tickled the twine here in this one. Back to Farmstead. Graham Farmstead in the middle. Nothing was thought about getting the shot. Not the easiest passes there for Larson. It hits the turf, but gathered up. Scooped up, and the reset here for British Columbia. Just a minute gone here in the third quarter. In behind the goal. This is dangerous territory. Allowed to walk in front. Sharp angle shot. Scores. Graham Farstad. 8-4. Boy, you couldn't put it at a better place if you just picked the ball up and taped it into the corner, as Farstad puts it right there. Top shelf. That's where Grandma keeps the peanut butter. 8-4. But if you're allergic to peanut butter, that's where she keeps the jam, whichever. Coming up to 2 minutes gone in third quarter. Ontario looking to try to get a strike. It's been a long time since they tickled some twine here for them. Can they do it on this possession? McKinnon. Bomberry. McKay. Bomberry. McKinnon. Definitely, that conditioning gets to be a little bit of a factor here. Late stages of this game, as well as the championships. Teams have been playing since like Thursday, Friday. There's a stop, and he's well out to stop that one. It's Caleb Kahn. Going to be Ontario ball here. Kind of silly to say that it's a must get something positive in terms of it, like a goal here for Ontario. Because if BC gets a net one, that may be too much of a big hill to climb. But as I said, the 4 goal leads. Lacrosse shot scores! There they got it from Christian McKinnon. As I was to say, they've got it down to 3. How big was that? 8-5. Guess I gotta ask this question. Why would you want to be a goaltender in lacrosse? You're giving up, like, you have a great game, but you give up like 8, 7, 6, 5. Well, I guess you be a goaltender in any sport, you got to be a little bit on the crazy side. 10:52 left here, third quarter. Bishop. Going off for a change is Caleb Hamioka. It's a big lacrosse family shot, scores! Lincoln Twomley. Boy, they got to get a hand in his face or something. He's just allowed to go down Main Street, get some real estate, and get a shot off. Back to that 4-goal lead for British Columbia. 9-5 as they get closer to double digits. Like, you look at the Twomley, and you just see he's got some upper body strength, so you know that he's probably, when he gets a chance to fire a shot, you know that it's got a lot on it, and that was the case in point that time. Lincoln Twomley with his second, so we got a couple of guys here for British Columbia, actually maybe 3 that have 2 goals in this one. And a 9-5. Speaking of 9 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. Quarter number 3. We have a holding. Holding call. It results in British Columbia ball, and team that's up by 4, you know they're going to take some time. As Brandon Kirby Lyons will go back to his goaltender, Kahn, who quickly upfield to Bishop. Danny Bishop. A little bit of a stick swing around. Has it again. Three-person wall set up here for Ontario, but BC's kind of broke it here. Farstad, who's on the sheet as well. Larson. Farstad, nothing going. Oh, that pass picked off, put down Main Street. Right into Bennett Driscoll and upfield. He gets it. That's a big one here for Ontario. Now, can they capitalize on it? Look to have numbers, and they're on the run. Already has a couple of this one. Christian McKinnon. Ball scooped up the turf there by Caleb Kahn for British Columbia. 8:08 to go. Third quarter. So we near the halfway point. Fielded out of bounds there by Larson. Was a little bit of pressure there by Lickers. Larson. Max Guller. As the pace sort of slows down. Sheldrake. Back in behind the goal. Bishop. Guller. Sheldrake. Logan Doxteter, who's watching him defending for Team Ontario. Shot, scores again! Max Guller. There was a man in his kitchen, but that was no big deal. Double digits, double the lead, 10-5. Guller with his third. He almost looked like he was going to have 3 before the first half. But he's got 3 in this one. Definitely been a difference maker, as well as Twomley with 2. 10-5. And BC on the march again this time. This is Kai Hartley. And flag down. It's going to be looks to be a charge called against Team Ontario. It'll be BC ball. And Goer, his fourth. That didn't take long at all. 11-5. Pass down low and the numbers gave. Just something that Ontario couldn't stop. Been a goaltending change for Team Ontario as Campbell Ellis is now minding the nets instead of Quinn Gordon. That might have been a change that might have happened just the start of that. So, but yes, number 41, Campbell Ellis in the nets for Team Ontario now. And he's a little bit of a rebel, I would have to say, because most of the goaltenders have been wearing sweatpants, and here he is in shorts. So that's going to sting if he gets one off the leg, that's for sure. You'd almost think that British Columbia right now, with 5:17 left in this third quarter, are looking to try to maybe put this one on ice. A 6-goal lead, as I said. 4 in lacrosse, yes. You can come from behind. We see that through our lacrosse coverage throughout the summer at the East Coast League as well as the Box Nationals just a couple weeks ago. But is 6 a hard hill to climb? We will have to wait and see for Ontario with 4:48 left, third quarter. Danny Bishop. Oh, it's Goer was looking for his 5th and a stop made by Campbell Ellis. And you know, Team Ontario did not have in their original game plan Campbell Ellis playing goal, so I can't be really putting words in their mouth, but ball goes down the field here. Oh, and Fest now right pretty much almost toe for toe there with Twombly, Lincoln Twombly, who's had the couple and has a howitzer of a shot that we have seen. Danny Bishop handled it right about his waist low. Brandon Kirby Lyons, shot that's off the mark and goes out of play, and play blown back in. Still will stay with British Columbia with 3:33 left to go till the end of the third quarter. Kept to the outside. Couple of nice moves here by Farstad. Bishop scores! He's been getting his chances and getting touches, and finally Danny Bishop will get his name in the goal category. 12-5. 3 minutes left. And yes, a little bit quiet on the Team Ontario side. On the bench. But Ontario hoping to, with 2.5 left. That's Bomberry. As well as Christian McKinnon, who's had a really good game, a couple of goals for Team Ontario. Bomberry again. Minute and 45 left. In the third quarter. And Ontario at least looking to end this on a positive if they can. And an opportunity to save there by Con on McKinnon, who has been the most dangerous player for Team Ontario today. A couple of goals looking for his third, but denied there by Caleb Con. Caleb Con now directed traffic as British Columbia now gets it past midfield. Brandon Kirby Lyons. Matty Dane. Swings the pass. Larson. Maximus Larson. Maybe he goes by Max, but we'll call him Larson for the meantime. Matty Dane. A little bit of a size mismatch against the Ontario defender, but he's still managing to get away. BC making a little bit of a change here, so they'll just hold on to it. 20 seconds left. Kai Hartley. They're just happy just to wait for the last shot. Down to 7 seconds. Is there something going to happen now? 4 seconds left. Hartley. 1 second. And he'll just happily just hold on and kill the clock. 3 quarters are in the books. It is a 7-goal lead for Team British Columbia after 3 quarters of play. So we're going to step aside just a little bit, and we'll be back with the final quarter of the First Nations Cup U19 Lacrosse National Field Championships here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
I think it's a beautiful day out, ready to go and play some lacrosse.
I think if we just outwork them, I think there's no reason we don't beat them.
This is Canadian Lacrosse Men's Field Nationals on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
Never miss a play.
All right, so we're at the final quarter here of the Lacrosse Canada Field Nationals. So at this time, we want to thank the hardworking crew here of Maritime Athletic Profiles. They've been here since like Friday doing this and the long sunny days. So, you know, I've had a chance to come here and call the championships here, and it's been great. But those guys who run the cameras, they are the superstars. We want to thank them for their hard work throughout the weekend to make these championships come possible. I'd love to go through all the names, but I know that I will forget them. But they know who they are. They are the stars. I am the puppet, and it has been an honor to do that for you and bring this to you. So we hope that you've enjoyed our coverage as well throughout. Definitely a hard one here for Team Ontario, especially getting off to that lead, and British Columbia has just sort of stepped it up another gear as Max Guller has had 3 goals here in this one, as well as Trombley with a couple. So, and British Columbia on the press here as we're underway with 4th quarter action. Trombley was thinking about firing a shot, nothing there. Farstead. Sheldrake. Guller. Oh, down low. And there really isn't anything to do once you get down low as British Columbia strikes again. Make it 13-5. You get down there, and it just the analytics says you just don't stand a chance of that big gaping net to put it in, and they put it by. Campbell Ellis said there was nothing he would do. He was just a sitting duck on that one. 13-5. This is what you might see when you get this sort of comfortable lead, because you'll see Michael Hibbard, who's a defender here, get a little bit of action for British Columbia. So we'll see if British Columbia maybe empties the bench and allow some of these guys that may not have gotten a lot of playing time here at the championships so far to get them some exposure being on the national stage. So that's could possibly be, because I knew that Hibbard haven't really called his name out a lot. This guy have his Vanacek. He's got a goal here in this one. There's Larson as well. So we'll see what British Columbia does. It's not often you get a chance to play at a national championship. So maybe try to get as much as Campbell Ellis has to make the save. He's on in relief of Quinn Gordon. Quinn Gordon with his helmet off and pretty much has his hands around the shoulders. And really not anything on the goals that he has given up. It's just been more like just maybe a wake-up call here. Or also try to not shake his confidence or something, but nothing to do with the way he played his Liquors as it. Seems like it's been a while since Ontario's had a possession there. 2.5 gone almost here in fourth quarter. 13-5. And you get like this, you just kind of hope that maybe things will end cleanly as the foul is to Ontario. So just like that. Quick changes for both teams. Coming up to 3 minutes gone in the fourth. Big long pass up there, almost filled out of bounds there by Bishop, and then he gathers it up. There's a sharp angle. British Columbia once again. 3.5 gone here in the fourth. You know they're going to try to eat up as much clock as they possibly can. Vanacek. Lane was there, but it was closed quickly by Team Ontario. Danny Bishop. He'll hold as they were in the midst of a change as Larson goes off. Farstead comes on, and he's got it. Bishop. Hartley. As they go in behind the goal. And you can see that BC's just happy to have the possession here. And off goes Hartley. Twombly, and he loses it. That's a good defense there by Ontario, so you got to like the no quit out of them as Driscoll has difficulty and British Columbia on the march again with Bishop. Twombly, down low. Flags down. Few fans leaving the all-weather surface here in Dartmouth. And it's been pretty much a quiet game. 13-8 with 9:42 left. And as I said, a shot there and a stop there by Ellis, Campbell Ellis. In relief. directing some traffic. And this is the thing that we were saying about the play here of Quinn Gordon. It could be more that you could get more offensive chances if you could get it upfield quicker with Ellis. Sort of adds like another added body on there, not just a goalkeeper. As I was saying, we got to keep it clean here as the flags could be flowing a plenty as Michael Hibbert gets tangled up with the Ontario player near midfield. Let's just hope, as you say, that, you know, basically we could get through the remaining 8 minutes and 43 seconds without any little extracurricular activities, we'll say. Max Guller. British Columbia once again. Guller thought about the shot. Bounced out the other side. Eight minutes for British Columbia, so the clock not the friend of Ontario. They want more time. British Columbia want that clock to drain down. And they get another one as walking out front, Austin Vanachuk, 14-5. Well, you'll be hard pressed to find a player of the game here for this one for British Columbia. Everybody has come to play. There's been a few players that have got 2 or more, and Vanachuk's up there, Twombly, Guller, Bishop on the board. Just so many players that just came to play today. And Asher Kaiken will get some action. He's number 19. He's a defender here in the blue. As I said, British Columbia will probably try to get everybody into this one. Just past the halfway point as the Ontario player pushed on. Referee says play on, so we will play on. 6:54 left. BC happy just to take some time as it's in behind the goal. They'll sway out. Twombly, Bishop. Bishop goes for a little slight sprint. And in behind. Larson. Bishop. Vanachuk. Oh, almost pays the price. You went down into the trolley tracks and the stick got up high. Schwartzing lowered the boom on the British Columbia player, but his stick was way high on the process, so he'll go to the box. A little bit of frustration there for him. A little bit of couple wax on there, but this is Sheldrake back outside. Farstead, and another one. Well, they've got a 10-goal lead, 15-5 with just about 5 and change left. Remind everybody that we will have the medal and banner presentation after the game, as well as we will wrap up our tournament coverage with our player of the game interview that will be selected there by the committee of who the player of the game is, usually determined by coaches. So we will have that to finish up a weekend of coverage. And actually also wrap up our lacrosse coverage for the month of August, even though this is the 1st of September. 4:15 to go. Larson. Sheldrake. Matty Dean. Actually, that is Joseph Demond, the midfielder, number 15. As I said, BC is going to get everybody into this game as much as they can, and imagine for Ontario pretty much the same thing as well. Vanachuk. Boy, for a guy that's didn't see a lot, Demon, it looks pretty good. Getting a little bit of playing time here in a national championship game, coming up to just about 3 to go. And he gets into the game, and Joseph Demon scores to make it 16-5. Very dejected team, Ontario. Just wishing that this next 2:20 would go quickly. And a man down to boot. As I said, frustration starts to kick in, but we're just happy we haven't had any real, altercations. Did see something of that in our national championship game of the Box Nationals just a couple weeks ago. Ellis makes the stop in that one as we're under 2 to go. What's that? All right. So it's 17-5. The U17 team coming out to watch the remaining seconds here of this one. So a few weeks ago at the Nationals, BC had a chance to swipe the podium. In the field, they had a chance to swipe the podium. Ontario got in the way of that split. But today, the U17 won gold, and 100 seconds left from British Columbia. 17-5. Mullins. Ontario maybe looking for something here to go out on a positive, because this was a tough battle for them, and you can just sort of see the frustration there by McKay. He puts that one right on the turf there for his team. A minute 15 left. McKay. Trying to cut. McKay! And the stop there by Con. Under a minute to go. You can almost sometimes pencil these teams here to be in the national championship. British Columbia with some high uptake offense. They even had 20 in a game once time in this championship, so they've put 17 on the board today. A lot of offensive weapons. Hartley looking up at the clock, probably just happy here just to maybe hold on to it. Back out, Banks. Lemon. Outside, Guller. We'll try to pick up the sound here. U17 champions, U19 champions, First Nation Cup champions, Team British Columbia. They came with the goal of sweeping the podium, and they did here. Ontario struck first, but that was as close as Ontario got in this championship game, 17-5. They come out on the losing end, and British Columbia, First Nation Cup champions, pretty much was wrapped up early, and they just kept pouring it on and pouring it on. And when you see what happens in this sport is when you defend like Ontario has, it tires you. They didn't have like much left in the tank by the end of things. So a tough loss for Ontario, but really when you look at the way that British Columbia has played at these championships, to see them put 17 up on a championship game, you just knew that they had some high, they just had some offense. They had 20 goals in one game at this championship. That's unbelievable. And, that was going to be tough for Ontario to defend. And, just too many weapons for him today in this one. But as British Columbia showing some love and the national championship, and it's going to be a happy flight back to British Columbia for this team, British Columbia. 17-5. They win this one. They sweep the podiums here at the Field Nationals in Dartmouth. We will basically take a little bit of a breather, and we will be back with the banner and the medal presentation, as well as wrap things up here from the 2025 Lacrosse Field Nationals. And you've been watching it here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
Then, if you would like, you can come a lot closer so we can see nice and close. I'll get you to line up here where the kids are lined up. Thank you.
Hi, do you think I'm better off on the other side? Just because this lens is so tight, they're going to be right here, and if I back up, I got... What? Because the parents are all going to be here too, so I can't really back up. Yeah, so I might just flip to the other side with them. team behind me first, so I could sit on the other side of Ontario. I could just flip around and then like put a little pep in my step and get it over with. Okay, I'll start. I'm gonna start here. Alberta. Back here over. What? No, the third place. Yeah.
Can you imagine? You're not getting over that. You're not getting over that, I'll tell you. Had by some medals.
I might flip to the other side. Okay, I'm going to, just so that I can see them get their medals and walk by. That's better.
Thank you everyone for being here today. Such a great way to honor the Creators Game. First, let's give applause to these amazing athletes. Round of applause.
Let me know when I can hop over to the other side to get Ontario.
Think about that. My dad
Can I move so I can finish? She will.
Le vent, il vient d'en bas.
But let me know if there's a second that I can flip sides. You're good as in I can? Alright, Dylan, you're gonna flip over to the other side. I hope you heard me. Sorry, I had to flip.
Ça a changé parce qu'il y a des chips. Non, c'est comme. Le fou, c'est juste comme. C'est comme. Moi, je pensais qu'on je savais pas si parce que le petit, genre. The best spot. The best spot. That's what I want here.
So are we doing an interview at the same spot? Or just the one?
Like that.
I don't know if
I know. Good. Yo, boys, are we showering? I have a towel over. Good on this. Let's Trên màn hình cái gì?
I'm gonna run over to be in front of them.
Captains, please.
I'm in the back of all the parents' shots. I'm like, oh my face, no, I got it.
All right, and
Oh yes. I was just.
Sure, buddy. That's why we won. You're usually good luck charm. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
I'll come back.
Well, we are back here in Dartmouth. We're here with the MVP from Team British Columbia and a U19 champion, Caleb Kahn. Congratulations. What's your thoughts going through your mind right now?
I mean, it's a big win. This is what we came here to do, and just so happy. It's not really thinking much right now.
Yeah, like basically Ontario got that first goal, so you rebounded back. How happy have you been with your play at the championships leading up to today?
I mean, pretty happy. Last time I was here, we lost in overtime, so it's nice to get redemption for myself and for the team.
Yeah. I was also talking about being a goaltender in lacrosse. How did you get started in that?
I had a best friend in preschool, I believe, and they needed a goalie for the team, so I said, why not? And kind of stuck with that ever since.
Talk to me about how popular the sport of lacrosse is. It just seemed like a solid program, how big it is and everything for the viewers in Ontario or watching right around the World Wide Web of why British Columbia is so solid and can send a solid program year after year. Tell us all about that program.
I think we love to play, we love each other as teammates, and we'll do whatever it takes to win. So we're always at the field, we're always looking to get better, and we're always communicating.
All right, so tell us what are some of the future goals you'd like to do, maybe either in the sport or outside of the sport. What's in the future for you?
Well, I'm hoping to go play in the NLL sometime this year, so it's kind of my biggest goal right now.
Who's your favorite team in the NLL?
Probably the hometown Vancouver Warriors. They've been on a roll.
Yeah. So you've been to their games. It's pretty popular. League's pretty popular. So how happy are you with the sport of lacrosse growing and being popular after it was sort of maybe really bottom of sports in Canada and see the growth of it with the NLL and everything? How happy are you?
I mean, it's awesome. I couldn't be happier. Playing the sport I love and then seeing other people love it. It's just the greatest feeling.
All right. So as I said, national champion. How's it sound?
Sounds pretty good to me.
All right. Well, you were fantastic throughout the playoffs, throughout the round robin, and fantastic today. Caleb Kahn, congratulations.
Thank you.
Caleb Kahn, the MVP for Team British Columbia in the U19 at the First Nations Cup for U19 as British Columbia has swept the podium here at the Field Lacrosse Nationals. So that will wrap up for our coverage. I want to thank our entire crew who have worked hard throughout the entire championships. So for the entire crew, my name is Dad Hobson. Thank you for tuning in, and so long for now. And you've been watching the Lacrosse National Field Championships on Maritime Athletic Profiles.